Welcome to my Honda Navi ride, April 2026. Nice warm day in between snowstorms. This is part one of six, Calgary to Balzac to Airdrie. In Balzac, I'm going to stop at Costco. In Airdrie, I'm going to go for a coffee because I got to wait for a prescription at Costco in Airdrie, which will take about an hour or so. On this part, I'm just showing you the route how to get over to Métis Trail. At the bottom of the screen is a website that gives the speed limits on Calgary roads. When I got the Navi, of course, it has a speed limit of about 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour at the best of times. However, it prefers to run around 60 to 70. And we're turning right on a road here. This was the old golf course area that's now been turned into condos. And on the right is Harvest Hills Pond. A little pathway around there, and this is 40 kilometers an hour through here. Lots of bike paths around here. You can go all the way from here, all the way up to Balzac on a bicycle on back roads and pathways. Very nice route to go in the summertime, but it gets pretty muddy through there after snow and rainfall. So we're gonna head up here now to Country Hills Boulevard. If I turn left, it's 40 kilometers an hour. If I turn right, it goes up to 70. And if you go too far to the left, over to Shaganappi, the speed limit goes up to 80 kilometers an hour up steep hills. And I can barely do that in my 125, so I'm not taking the Navi over there. Um, you can, however, turn right on Shaganappi, and it continues to be 70 kilometers an hour for a long ways out of town. So I sometimes go over there. And yeah, the right lane there is actually a bus stop, which is really confusing when they put it in. People were going all over the place, couldn't figure out what the heck that other lane was that ended nowhere. So yeah, the driving course for golf is on the right side here. And we're going to District, which is the top of the hill here. On the left, they're doing a lot of development, preparing the ground, flattening it out. I don't know, probably going to put in another mall, I would expect. Turning right here will take you to the District Pond. It's got a 0.8 kilometer pathway goes around it, and sometimes take a bicycle down there and do 10 laps of the pond and then head home if nobody's on it. But usually people get out there, and then that kind of ruins my racetrack. I have to slow down, watch out for people, and at that point I usually just go home. But it's a good short distance to go out and get some exercise when I'm out biking. So now we're coming up to Deerfoot, Highway 2 that runs from Calgary all the way up to Edmonton. Oh, big potholes here. Yeah, really have to avoid those big potholes on the Navi because it only has about 3 inches of travel on the shocks, so pretty rough. However, I don't think I bottomed about the shocks yet, so that's good. This part of the overpass is really bad for the Navi, as you're going to see. Now the bike starts weaving around a little bit. It's got the grooves in the pavement here, and motorcycles don't like that at all. It's a little unnerving until you start getting used to it. Just got to relax and let the bike ride through. And as you can see, I'm keeping up the traffic on the left there. Yeah. Off to the right is Country Hills, and yeah, usually use that area for a bike ride. It goes down to 96 Ave, which has a pathway on it. So, but up here, I'm gonna take a left, as you can see, signaling left now. Gonna move over. The Navi has left and right arrow flashing on the dash, They don't have separate indicators for the turn signals. But if it's flashing, one of your turn signals is on. All you have to do is look down at the front signal lights and you can easily tell which one's flashing. It's the newer trend in motorcycles is you push in on the turn signal button to cancel it. As you can see, the horn button right below it is way too close to my hand. I sometimes accidentally hit that horn. I wish it was a little bit further to the right, so it wasn't so easy to accidentally hit it at times. The Navi is a really nice bike. Considering it's only 109cc, it gets up to speed quickly. It inspires a lot of confidence in the riders that it will do the speed limit without struggling. And top speed is around 50, which it really struggles to get up to that. But getting up to 70, no problem. And once we're over this bad section of pavement here, it can now get up to speed. There's car dealerships here, expensive ones, and lots of warehouses have gone in here in the last few years. There's not much else out here, so it's a great route for bicycles and for motorcycles. Not much traffic out here. And there's even a storm pond up ahead there that sometimes I'll take my e-bike with my tent trailer and tow it up there, get some pictures of it once in a while. Pretty comfortable home built trailer. Maybe weighs 40 pounds, so it's easy to tow with an e-bike. Yeah, the Navi is really good for getting around town here. Top miles per gallon was 118. I hear a lot of people complaining that it's 110 that Honda advertises is unrealistic. Most people are saying they're getting 50 to 90 US gallons, but we're in Canada here. Hell, we get an extra 20% on the size of our gallons. So 118 miles per gallon, yeah, that's possible if you're sticking around 60, 70 kilometers an hour, yeah. Running it at full power like any motor will burn through a lot more gas more quickly. And the small tank in the Navi means I have to fuel up every second day basically for if I go out and do 40-kilometer rides. Yeah, every second day the gas is getting down to where I go out and fill up, and usually about anywhere from $2 to almost $4 for a fill up. It's not bad. Usually I fill it up when it gets down about halfway. So yeah, what a nice day to be out riding. The Navi is such an easy bike to ride. No shifting. It's great in the cities where you have to stop and go all the time. And that's where it really shines. I had mopeds that were almost as fast as the Navi, actually, and they were only 50cc. I could sometimes get my old Mobilette Moto Beacon up to 70, sometimes 80 kilometers an hour under ideal conditions. What's going on here? People are doing U-turns. It says you can turn right, but when I look over here, they got 2 lanes of traffic and they haven't put a divider in the middle of it so that you can actually turn right. So I guess they haven't had their coffee yet this morning. The only option I have here is I've got to go down the pathway here, I guess. Get around the construction area until they get everything set up properly. As I came back later on in the day, they did have it set up, and then people could actually make a right turn there. But it's early in the morning, and they haven't got things set up properly. So we're going to get off this pathway right away and get back onto the road. It's 60 kilometers an hour here, so Navi's quite happy to do that. The Navi has so many features on here that is that people really appreciate. Was looking at the Navi, and there were just so many people doing things with Navis on YouTube that it got me wondering. They're having a lot of fun with these small bikes, and the dealer happened to have this old 2022 that had been sitting in the shop for I guess 3-4 years as a demo, and it had green, brown, and yellow pieces of plastic on, for the sides on it and stuff. And yeah, so I said, well, my wife likes red, so I'm gonna get the red, and they gave me the red kit with it for free. So I installed all those pieces. Red handrail on the back is really nice. And I haven't really done any modifications to it. I'm quite happy the way it runs. I don't see there's much point in doing a lot of expensive upgrades to it to get an extra 10 kilometers an hour, because I can just get on my CBR and it'll do about 100 kilometers an hour, and then after that it's pretty iffy. I've had it up to 122 kilometer an hour, which was pretty freaky because I was at 9,000 RPM in top gear. It doesn't have the power to really overcome much of the wind resistance, but on some days, slight tailwind or riding when there's a lot of traffic on the road, you can actually get up to pretty good speed on it. So now we're at Métis Trail, and this is my favorite route on the Honda Navi to go up to Costco. It avoids 110 kilometer an hour deerfoot, and against common sense, the city is deciding to up the speed limit to 120, knowing full well it will result in more deaths. But you can't reason with planners, right? They do what they want to do. However, it means it's very iffy for me to be able to do that speed on my CBR 125. So, and for trucks, there's going to be a large difference in speed of vehicles on there, leading to more accidents. So, I don't trust highway planners anymore. Use common sense. However, I'm quite happy to be on the back roads with the Navi. Going straight ahead, if I kept going straight, I'd end up getting up to 80 kilometer an hour speed limit after a few miles on the 264 that goes all the way out towards Standard in Highway 9. But today, yeah, I'm just going to go up to Costco, and we're going to get up to the overpass, and at that point, that's where this video will end. And as soon as the lights change here, yeah, there we go. And you can watch the speedometer. The Honda Navi gets up to speed very quickly. I'm taking it slow here because it's quite a sharp turn. The speed limit along here is 60, and then it goes up to 70 for a short section, back down to 60 at the overpass, and then back up to 70. And I'm just timing my speed here to get in between gaps in the merging traffic here. And the Navi is very capable of getting up to speed. The variator transmission works very well. It's the smoothest transmission I've ever had, except for, the Moto Cane Mobilette that I had that would get up to 70, sometimes 80 kilometers an hour on a 50cc engine. I love these variator transmissions. They're so smooth, and you'll never experience anything as smooth with a car. There's no shifting, it just keeps picking up speed. So now we're 60 kilometer an hour going over top of Stony Trail, which is 100 kilometer an hour speed limit. And as we start going down the other side here, that's where the video will end on this section of my ride out to Balzac. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and you can see by the speed limit that the Navi is quite capable of doing the speed limit. And it's a delightful bike to ride, very light and easy to maneuver. So we'll end here. Thank you for watching.